Zinchenko in, and what you get with Zinchenko is a control. But what you also get is the ability to make mistakes, because as we've been discussing on various times, it's risk and reward. And today, all we got is reward and reward. There was absolutely zero mistakes. I don't remember.
This filho da puta is talking rubbish, bro. Let's not act like, yes, Zinchenko did well against Doku. Bro, this is why I get annoyed. Yeah, it's the overreaction. Overreaction. I was happy when we beat City. This Voldemort-looking filho da puta is now sitting there trying to come out with, with Zinchenko, we can make mistakes. Bro, he was part of the reason why we bottled it last season. Let's not forget.
No, but he's talking about this game, bro.
He ain't the one.
Talking about this game.
No, but he said this is why you can play Zinchenko. You can afford to make mistakes with Zinchenko. The guy is a liability defensively. Let's call it out. And there was mistakes in this game. The start of the game, I've bigged up Declan Rice. So you're not going to say that I didn't big him up. Declan Rice made Declan Rice at the start of the game, the opening start of the game. We were nervous. Raya was making mistakes. Declan Rice missed passing it. Zinchenko missed passing it. And then we grew into the game. There was mistakes. And let's keep it real. Raya got closed down by Alvarez. The amount of bad passes from Raya, we were very lucky that not one of them led to a goal. Because again, you remember that mistake against Lons? Raya out the distribution to Tomiyasu and we suffered. We can't continue with that. Put that guy on the bench, bro, and put Ramsdale. Ramsdale's going to be hungrier than ever. But to sit there and say that, we can play with Zinchenko, it's risk and reward.
Wait. You want Raya on the bench? Excuse me? You want Raya on the bench? You know, Mikel Arteta after the game came out and said, that's all me. I told Raya to hold on to the ball extra longer than he usually does to force City to press him. And he was kind of nervous at the beginning, and that's my fault. So blame me, don't blame him.
Then put Arteta on the bench and get AirPod Albert out. I want AirPod Albert managing this team because that's some stupidness.
Anyways, no, but it did work. After you seen later in the game, it did work because it started at the beginning. It was very scary. Julian Alvarez almost scored that goal. But let's be honest, Zinchenko in this game, he did it. He was spotless. Only thing that he was annoying with, he was trying to get a goal so bad. He took 3 shots. I don't remember the last time I seen Zinchenko take 3 shots in a game.
He's a liability. Do you know what? I'd love him as a midfield option. As a defender, it's always shaky when he's on. He played well against Man City, and I'll give him the props when he plays well. Just like I gave Tomiyasu, that I don't rate, a man of the match against Lons. But ultimately, that's not the level.
We lost to Lons.
Apart from in the first few minutes, I saw what I would consider to be a faultless Arsenal performance. And just because of that first 11, it's because of the depth of our squad. And I know that we've had the discussion about Saka a number of times, but for me, we are not a one-player team. We have a massive squad.
That is bollocks. We do not have a massive squad.
Let me back him for a second. All he's really saying is we're not a one-man squad. We're not a team that's dependent on one individual player to perform week in, week out for us to win or lose. We have plenty different match winners. For example, Martin Odegaard can be a match winner on certain days. You got Martinelli who can be a match winner on certain days. You have Bukayo Saka who can pop up and be a match winner on certain days. And you now have also guys like Partey. You got guys like Declan Rice who can also be match winners on certain days. We know our defense, and Saliba and Gabriel are solid defensively also. They can win you matches based on the defensive performances also. So we're not a one-man team. He's right. He's not saying the whole squad is amazing. He's just merely saying the players that we do have to our disposal, even without injuries, even without no Bukayo Saka, no problem. We go out there and we deliver.
Cool. If that's the vibe, if Saka's out for months, I don't want to hear no crying. We ain't got Saka. For me, I'm not hearing none of that. And I'll tell you why. Yeah? Because we do not have one other player that we can rely on. Saka's been half of the player he was last season. He's been tired this season. And yet he still performs. He still scores in critical games. We don't have an out-and-out killer in this team. We don't have many players that take on players one-on-one, which is why a lot of times we look stagnant against teams that have a low block.
No, we have Martinelli.
So to say that, yes, last season, collectively, the goals were spread out. Ultimately, it wasn't enough to win the league. But when you're looking at this team, there's not enough quality. We have quantity, but we don't have the quality. We don't have the quality. And that is what you should be talking
We have
about.
quality in Martinelli who can take people on and Saka who can take people on. You're making it seem like those guys don't take people on.
Which midfielder do we have that takes somebody on and create something? Because Odegaard, as soon as you press him, he does nothing. As soon as you press that guy, does nothing. You just said it yourself. Jorginho, he's just there to hold on to the ball. So he ain't gonna create nothing. He just holds
Jorginho's
it.
a register, yeah.
Yeah, he just holds it. Yeah, holds it. That's all he does. He's like a shop, holding your sweets, holding your treats until you come and collect it. What good is that to us? We don't have a striker that's gonna take any. The only one we got is Jesus, and he's not clinical.
Bro, this game,
we have not got players that beat a man one-on-one. We don't have a player that creates something out of nothing. Everyone's robotic, which is why a lot of the times we play side to side football.
You want to know something?
Tennis football.
You want to know something?
Let
me stop you there for a second. They got Alvarez, they got Bernardo Silva, they got Foden. All three of them are probably amazing creators compared to what we had on the pitch yesterday, with only Odegaard being anyone close to that level when it comes to creativity. Now, those guys were only able to register 4 shots the whole entire game, and 2 of them came from defenders in Gavardio and Ake. So even though they have better creators than us, we bust the game based on our midfield and our defense. So it just goes to show you there's different ways to win games. We're not going to win every game this way. We're not going to win every game this way. But based on what you're saying right now, you're arguing over what we are deficient in, but you're not crediting what we're good in. And we try to win the game based on our strengths. Why are you going to go into a fight and try to fight somebody with a different style that doesn't benefit you?
Because I have not seen consistency. Because the quality that you're mentioning,
we have only lost one game.
Quality that you're mentioning was quality we had last season, Agal, and it wasn't enough.
We have quality this season.
We were 3 points ahead. We don't have good rotation for Saka. We don't have someone that's levels above Odegaard who goes missing in these kind of games. Offered nothing. We don't have a clinical goal scorer. We don't have a deep line player like Santi Cazorla, like we had in Santi Cazorla, that can transition that ball. Santi Cazorla was able to retain possession and spark an attack. Jorginho just holds the ball.
North side. He
might as well be, you know, the bag they got for the football. He might as well be then. He might as well hold the bag for the football.
Mikel Arteta knows everything you're saying. So instead of trying to play the way that you think we should be playing, he's playing the best way to capitalize on what we have to our disposal. Why?
How about go out in the transfer window and get what we need instead of going again with the same team practically that we had last season that fell short? Well, how about that? Because why do we have transfer windows then if you're not going to do that? We don't have to have this team. We didn't have to have Havertz. We didn't have to sign Reece Nelson. We didn't have to re-sign Nketiah. We didn't have to sign Fabi Vic. We didn't have to sign these players, bro. We didn't. He chose to. So this is why I'm on his neck. Because this season it's time to deliver. Not feel that thought I better deliver, bro. No more excuses.
Guess what? We both are agreeing. We both agree. We want him to deliver. I hope he will, and I think he will. But the way that you're approaching it is you're looking at all the things that we're weak in, and I'm looking at all the strengths that we have. I'm looking at our defense being the strongest that we've ever had it. I'm looking at our midfield being more compact and being able to control games better. You're looking at the attack. I am too, but the way you're looking at the attack is it's not good enough, and we need to improve. Where I'm saying, you know what, we've scored 16 goals. We could have, if we finished all our chances, be on 19 goals right now. We're not clinical.
Before I move on to the next clip, very quickly, I'm going to say this. 20 years, this fan base has always looked on the bright side. Always been reactive instead of proactive. 20 years, we've not won a major honor. When we could have won the league against Leicester, do you know what everyone said? Because Wenger come out and said there's no quality in the market. There's no quality in the market. And who goes on to win the league? Leicester. Last season, 8 points clear. I was saying it for time. We need more. Well, we're top of the league. Just be happy. Well, we're top of the league now. We're with Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah is performing one game and then one game not. Just be happy. Just back the team.
To be fair, they made 2 signings.
Because everyone else thinking like you, looking at the positive. You don't improve by looking at the positive. You improve when you look at the negative. When I look at my life, if I look at just the positive, I've become complacent. I want more. So then I look at how I can be better, how I can make extra income, how I can get more money, how I can build a career past my retirement age that I don't have to work hard. It's called being proactive, not being reactive. The reason you're reactive and this fan base is reactive is because they don't see the signs, and everything's always rosy and they don't see the signs when they see them and call them out. But let's get into the next clip.
today. So we did it without Saka. And I'm not saying we don't need Saka, because we do, but we can afford to not have Saka. We don't need to play him 70 games a season. We can afford to give him a rest and let him off, and hopefully he won't be anywhere near the England team, nowhere near Australia, nowhere near Italy. Come back and do the business against Chelsea.
Cool. I don't want to hear no excuses about we're missing Saka if he's out for months. No excuses. He just said we'll be fine. He just said we'll be fine. So cool. Let's get on to the next one.
Let's be honest. If Bukayo Saka missed months, there's going to be moments where we're going to need him, and we're going to look back and be like, "Yo, we should have. If we had Saka, it would be different," because he's still a world beater. But this whole thing that if he's out for 1 or 2 games, we can manage 1 or 2 games. It's just extended injury period will hurt us, of course. It will hurt anybody. Look, Man City turning.
So why didn't this manager plan for that?
Man City just lost 3 games in a row because Kevin De Bruyne is out and Rodri's out. Any team is vulnerable when their players are out, but you can't have too many of them out. You can have 1 or 2, but you can't have too many.
But we have 1 or 2. We don't have the whole team out.
Yeah.
So we should be able to manage it. This manager chose to get rid of Pepe and keep Reece Nelson.
Let me give you an example. If we had Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba both injured at the same time, it would be the same to City having Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne both out at the same time. The cover in those positions are okay, but it's not good enough against the top teams. We might struggle in that game.
Cool. I just don't understand why this manager's been here for 4 years and we've not bought at least one right winger. Is that not backup planning?
Right winger, because we have Saka and we have one of the best right wingers in the world.
Okay, but you just told me if he's out for more than 2 games, then we have a problem there. So
no, because Jesus is going to have to play there, and he plays different to Saka.
But okay, cool. So then it's not a problem if he's out for longer because we'll play.
It will be eventually, but I'm saying it's manageable in moderation. It can't be.
But that's very risky, though, isn't it? Because if Saka's out for the season, which it can happen. It can happen. Players can get injuries with
if Liverpool miss Mo Salah, if Man City miss this player, anybody who's missing their best player.
Liverpool got rotation. They got rotation. Very good players.
Don't. Not for Mo Salah. Mo Salah gets injured, they're fucked. Same way, if Man City, they have Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne out, they're fucked too. Any team who's missing their best player or 2 of their best players are going to be underperforming. That's just the reality.
Okay, so it's okay for a manager to go in transfer after transfer, seeing that there's a weakness that we should. I'm not saying that you're going to get a player that's as good as Saka, but at least someone that can compete or can come in and do a job.
This is my theory. I don't think you can address every single need in a team in a transfer window. Even the best team in the world in Manchester City,
4 years.
Even the best team in the world in Manchester City have a major flaw. They have no cover for Rodri.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, it's the reality, bro. There's no way. This is not FIFA. We can't go. People can't just go out there and get the best player in every position and then have the best backup in every position.
So this manager's had roughly 8 transfer windows, and you're telling me we can't bring at least 1 right winger? You're telling me that, yeah?
No, I'm not saying we can't bring a right winger.
Okay, so then that falls on lack of planning for the manager. We praise him when he brings in the right players, but if he doesn't fill in certain holes that are gaping holes that we need, you have to put it on the manager. And everybody else that's involved in the transfers.
This is why we want to
praise. This is why we want to give him praise when we got rotation.
Let me tell you why I'm not. Let me tell you why I'm not condemning him. Let me tell you why I'm not condemning him on this topic specifically. Because I think there's other priorities. It's not a situation where we can look back at the team and the construction of the team and say, you know what, we still needed another center back and another person who could play defensively. What did he do? He went and signed Timber. We can say we acknowledge we needed Declan Rice after Granit Xhaka left, and we did that. Kai Havertz, I can agree with you. Jury's still out on him. We have to see if he's going to ever perform to the level where we can say, you know what, this was a good signing. But right now, jury's still out on him. When it comes to Martinelli, Trossard, that forward line, basically they're going with this team until January, and I'll see if they go and sign Pedro Neto or if they go and sign Ivan Toney in January. But for now, it does look like they were going to weather the storm until January. And that's based on reports that we're hearing from journalists. They keep talking about us going and signing Neto or Ivan Toney in January. So I'm thinking that's what they're banking on.
Okay, let's get into the next one.